Hi everyone, this is Shannon from theirishscrapper.com, and this week I am focusing on masculine birthday cards. So for today's video I've created these two cards. We're actually going to create this one, I think, on video, but basically it's the same materials. This is just the reverse side of the designer series paper that I chose to use. So I'm using the Geared Up Garage stamp set and dies, as well as the Perennial Birthday stamp set for our sentiment. So let's go ahead and jump in. Alright, for our card base, I am using a piece of Night of Navy. This is 4 1/4 by 11. We're going to score it at 5 1/2. I have a piece of the Twinkle Twinkle designer series paper. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And you can see here is the dark side, and we'll use the reverse side today on our card. I have a scrap of Whisper White. This is just for the sentiment, so it just needs to be big enough for us to get our happy birthday on, and then we can kind of trim that down. We're also going to use a scrap piece of Night of Navy for our circle, and then another piece of Whisper White to do our stamping of our toolbox and our little oil can. So the dies that we're using today are the stitch shapes. This is the largest circle in the stitch shaped framelits. And then I am using the dies that coordinate with the Geared Up Garage. I love this set. This is so fun, and it's perfect for the men in your life. And then, as I mentioned, we're using Perennial Birthday for this big happy birthday sentiment. Alright, so maybe we'll start with some of our stamping first. So let me pull this aside. We will do our sentiment in Night of Navy. So let's just ink that up. Mine is just re-inked, so it's pretty juicy. I'm kind of stamping that close to the edge of the cardstock because I might want to trim it down if I think it's a little too wide. That looks good. Alright, and then we're going to bring in our Memento Tuxedo Black, and I'm actually going to use that for our toolbox as well as our oil can. Let's do those at the same time. Looks good. Okay, and then I am going to use that Memento Black again, but we got to die cut our circle first. So why don't we go ahead and do our big shot work. Okay, so I have my magnetic platform here in my big shot. I'm going to put down one cutting plate. I'm going to grab my scrap of Night of Navy with that largest stitched shapes circle. I just want to be sure I don't get this caught. The edge of that paper is a little bit wide. Okay. Well, let's work out our circle here. There we go. And then we will grab our Whisper White. And then we're going to grab our dies for our toolbox as well as our oil can. Pretty good. Okay. Alright. Run those through. Okay. Alright, so now we are done with our big shot. Oh, just dropped my plate there. Okay, now we can begin to assemble our card. So what I'm going to do here is I have some Night of Navy Baker's Twine. This is actually retiring. So if you do have it, or if you want to pick it up, you can find that in my online store. I'm going to put adhesive around all 4 sides, and then I'm just going to drop my twine into that adhesive, and then I'm going to kind of do a bit of a crisscross here, and so it's going to be a little narrower on one side and longer on the other. Grab my scissors. Okay, and now that I have that twine down, I'm just going to add a little bit more adhesive. And then we'll go ahead, you know what, I did not score that paper. Let me do that. I typically have them scored. Somehow just forgot. Alright, so I'm going to score this at 5.5. Again, it's 4 1/4 by 11, and you're going to score at 5.5. And then we can go ahead and drop down our designer series paper. Looks good. Alright, now with our Night of Navy circle, we're going to grab that memento again. I'm going to grab myself a scrap of grid paper, which I have here somewhere. Where did I put it? Let me just put this behind, just in case we go off. I'm going to ink up that oil spill in the memento black, and because the Night of Navy is so dark, you know, it looks very faint. It's not too much. And I'm just going to kind of continue to just stamp around the edges just to give it a little blotchy look. Hopefully you can kind of see that now. Alright, so we will go ahead and lay this down. And I'm just going to put that right over our twine. Okay. Now for our toolbox and our little oil can, I am going to bring in my Stampin' Blend. So I have this is the Dark Night of Navy, and I'm just going to kind of do the little cap there, and then this little image across the center there, just for it to kind of coordinate. Okay, and then on our toolbox, I'm just going to kind of do the lid part here. And then we'll do the bottom. Just going to go around our lock. Okay. And just fill this in. This will dry a little bit lighter. It's kind of dark when it's wet. I'm just going to go in here and get this little inner part. Looks good. Okay, so now we're going to add some dimensionals. Let me flip both of these over. I'm going to put some dimensionals across the back of that. Pull those backings off. Okay, and then we're going to add those to our circle. Alright, and then now with our sentiment, this is where I'm just going to kind of trim it with my scissors. And I think I'm going to take a little bit more of that Whisper White off just to kind of narrow it down a little bit. Okay, and then same thing, I'm going to use some more dimensionals on that. So we'll put that along the center. I I think men can enjoy handmade cards as well. I just think they like sometimes a little simpler look to it. So that's what I was going for today, and I'm pretty happy with the results. I like to kind of, you know, keep it toned down. Of course, use colors that I think they enjoy. And this was just a very simple, this could be a Father's Day card as well. You could definitely use the sentiments in the stamp set to do that as well. So it could work both ways for sure. All right, let me grab one of our Whisper White envelopes, because you know I don't like naked envelopes. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to re-stamp the little 2 blocks in the Memento Black right here in the corner. And I don't even think I'll color it. I think I'll leave it in the black and white. I just like the look of that. So that completes our Masculine Birthday card. Let me bring in that other one more time in case you'd like to see it. Again, I just reversed the Designer Series paper, and then of course did my base and pool party as well as the stitched circle. So I do hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I will be back on Wednesday with another Masculine Birthday card, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.